Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hola, amigos, amigas. Welcome to Lima, Peru. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the capital of this beautiful country called Lima. Today we are going to explore from my home, continuing with this series of tours from home, discovering together. We are going today to visit virtually and with the help of a documentary, a Peruvian documentary, another of the destinations within my country, Peru. In today's occasion, we are going to visit together Nazca, a place that is surrounded not just with a vast desert, also with ancient mysteries. So the aim of this series is to show you all the potential within my country as a touristic destination, a place that has not just Andes, not just a beautiful Machu Picchu, not just a beautiful Titicaca Lake. We are a country of 3 different regions. We have coast, mountains called Andes, and jungle. So we're going to be exploring together in each occasion a different province, a different city. So thanks a lot for coming. Let me say hi to my amigos and amigas coming to this tour. Hello, Susan. Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Lisa, Larry, Berhan, amigo, hola. Marina, so nice to see you again. Hello, TNDA. Hi, Aaron. Thanks a lot for coming. Gracias, Tina. Thanks for visiting my home today. And with this magical, mystical music in the background, I will now continue explaining how this series, first of all, was created. This series from home, these editions that will take you through documentaries, through Peruvian documentaries to learn about different parts of Peru, was in part also an inspiration from a chat I had with one of our fellow voyagers. I was for a long time trying to go to different destinations, knocking doors into museums. You know, it was very complicated sometimes because of the logistics, because of the lack of internet in some of the places I wanted to take you to. Also with the lack of permission sometimes museums provide, because all of this idea of virtual tourism is too new for many of these sites, of these administrations. So thanks with the suggestion, thanks to the suggestion of one of our fellow voyagers, I was put in the direction of using documentaries available for all of us for free on YouTube or Facebook that are used to promote destinations. Also, in today's occasion, we are going to fly together to the south of Peru to a place called Nazca, and to the let's say channel, the Facebook channel or the YouTube channel, so you will get all the information for later. Also come back to these videos and see it in its full. But also something important is that most of the times I will be using documentaries in Spanish, made for a local audience, also for international audience, but that speaks Spanish. So that's why I will be muting the documentaries and I will be explaining them. You can ask as many questions as you wish. Please feel free to ask me as many questions. Don't be shy with your doubts or maybe commenting something you experience, you live visiting those sites if you were here before. Okay, so Lisa, I'm so happy you like this idea, and well, I hope you enjoy today's event also. So now I will turn the camera first to to give you an idea of where we're going to be traveling using our documentary, we are going to Nazca. So where is Nazca in relation to Lima? So my city, the city where I am transmitting from, is located in the center of the coast of Peru. So Nazca is located in the south of the country. Nazca is located about 450 kilometers away from Lima, driving through the Pan American Highway. So that will be about 280 miles away from Lima. So Nazca is located in a department called Ica. So here you can see the department of Ica, and this is one of the provinces of Ica. So this is the south of Peru. So well, now we're going to start with today's documentary. We're using some really nice, relaxing, shamanic music. And this is the documentary that I will be using today. It's in Spanish. It was made for Peruvian television, channel number 7. But now, because most of the people around the world access to YouTube first, so this channel decided to post their documentaries in their YouTube channel. So how you can access to this documentary, just give me a second. I will move down for you to see the name of the channel. TV Peru. Reportaje al Perú. This is a series of, let's say, documentaries about different parts of the country, and today we are going to focus in Nazca. So I'm going to now, after the proper credit to this documentary, we're going to put a play on this documentary, which was made also and conducted by a famous Peruvian TV presenter, Manolo del Castillo. He is considered one of the ambassadors of Peruvian culture for Peruvians. Most Peruvians before the 90s were not really able to travel within our own country because of the terrorism, because of the economical crisis we were living in Peru. So thanks to the series that this gentleman started in the 90s, most Peruvians are able to get to know its own country, our own country first, before going away to other parts of the world. So Nazca is one of those destinations that after Machu Picchu, after Titicaca Lake, maybe the Colca Canyon, one of the deepest canyons in the world, is probably one of the most famous. But also the access into Nazca is a little bit complicated for many people because they are not very sure how they are able to reach the land of the famous Nazca Lines, the lines that you can see from the air. So most locals, most Limanians, most Peruvians, instead of traveling by plane, we prefer using buses. So it is a full day drive from Lima to Nazca, approximately 7 hours by bus ride, non-stop to that city. So Nazca is mainly a mining zone. It's a mining zone that in this moment is focusing more in direction to tourism, because mining has damaged a lot our nature, has damaged the coast, the Andes, the jungle. So there are many people in the communities that used to survive exclusively from mining and from activities of extraction that are seeing that the depredation of their homelands is such that they prefer to switch in direction to something more sustainable. And Nazca is one of those cases. Since ancient times, the territory that surrounds Nazca is rich in minerals such as gold. And also gold is one of the materials that the ancient societies of the territory of Nazca and also different parts of Peruvian territory use to honor their gods. So later we're going to talk about that too. But now we're going to the first destination that you can take in consideration in Nazca, and that is a museum. The museum that first we recommend you to take in consideration is the Museo Antonini. And here you can see aqueducts that are part of the museum. Those ancient aqueducts were made by an ancient civilization called Nazca. So the famous Nazca Lines were not the only thing the Nazca culture did in that location. The Nazca Lines, which we're later going to talk about in this event, are one of the many expressions of art that the Nazcas did in the period that is pointed to be between the beginnings of Christian era, about 2,000 years ago, and about 700 years after Christ. So beginnings of Christian era until the 8th century of our era, these people were able to create vessels like the ones you are seeing here, multicolor. Also, they had plenty color. It is sort of like they were fighting sometimes the desert color, which is usually one. But later also, you're going to see that the desert can turn into multicolor, especially the sky in the sunset. We have also these beautiful tapestries and fabrics which were made by this ancient civilization, and we're talking about long ago. Hola, Adrian. But also, something important is that the people from the community of Nazca, of the town of Nazca, that are very proud of their ancestry, they are trying to recreate being very, very sort of like stick to the original tradition, the ancient potteries made by their ancestors about 2,000 years ago. So, for example, this gentleman, he has a little let's say, showroom where he recreates a step-by-step for visitors the process of making of the potteries from just a little piece of clay, wet, humid clay, to give them the form, give them the color, explaining the motifs that you will see in those vessels. Why, for example, the whale? Why the seabirds? Why the penguins? What these people feel and understand these colors represented. Because something very important, besides, of course, having the information that archaeologists are able to find out, is also the anthropological information, because these people were born in communities that were very rich in tradition, in oral tradition. So they received from their ancestors the alive, let's say, wisdom and knowledge passed generation to generation. So this is how many of these former miners, and also to point this out and stress this out, illegal miners, because most of the mining in that zone is illegal and therefore very dangerous for these people, for their health especially. They are now turning in direction to tourism. So it is fantastic. They are many actually that are part of a group, an organization that offers to tourists these activities, right? So, which is really fabulous. So now I'm going to move a little bit forward in direction to another interesting part of our video, because you can imagine that we're going to be jumping from moments to moments to show you the highlights of this video. And later you can come again to this video, to this documentary, to see it in its full. And we are now looking at the aqueducts of Cantayok. So Cantayok is one of the districts of Nazca. And there we can still see the presence of aqueducts made by the ancient culture that nowadays we know as Nazca, right? So I'm going to make a little stop because I see a question. Tina, thanks for your commentary. I am interested in the elongated skulls. We're going also, Tina, to have the chance to talk a little bit about this too during this video. Thanks for also letting me know that you are interested in this, because the Nazca people, as many ancient societies in Peru and in the world, used to elongate their skulls. It is true. But also, let me remind you that Nazca in particular is very special, not just because of the elongated skulls and the Nazca lines, because of its location. We are on the desert. It rains about 1 cubic centimeter per decade in this location. In my city in Lima is about 1 cubic centimeter, less than 1 cubic inch per year. So here in Nazca, now we are in Nazca virtually, is even less. So there were times, of course, when there was no possibility for these Nazca people, this ancient culture, to access to water from the rivers. But they were very smart. So they create aqueducts and they access to the phreatic table. So in that way, they were able to have water permanently. And what you're seeing here in this this video, are the aqueducts as seen from the air. They are still in use. There are over 40 aqueducts in the city of Nazca that are pre-Hispanic, that are pre-Inca, right? And these aqueducts are still being the sole source of water for many people of the 21st century. The way how they access to this water, it's been investigated for long, was probably by following the path or the route of the trees. So whatever were trees, they knew there was underground water, and they reach out that water using this aqueduct system. So in this moment, we are also seeing another interesting site. This is the archaeological site of Paredones. And Paredones is another highlight of this zone. And you know what's special about Paredones? I will do a little stop here. Paredones, which is one of the many archaeological sites of Nazca, is an Incan site. But when we think about the Inca, and I made a stop here because we have this wall of stone, right? And when we think of the Incas, we think in Machu Picchu, we think in Cusco, we maybe think in my friend Mike in Cusco, right? But in the coast, the Incas also were able to build using a combination of stone, their style, and also the mud bricks, as the pre-Hispanic societies of the coast built. And also, in this moment, I would like to first, before we continue, to introduce you a very important person to me, my husband, Marek. So,
directly from Nazca.
Directly from Nazca. He just landed here from Nazca. Marek is a tour leader. He's also specialized in organizing tour groups in Peru, and he has kindly accepted to join us also during this event. He's not just a tour guide and tour leader. He's also an archaeologist. He studied archaeology. So he also wanted to, let's say, be part of this event because he would like to also share some insights about the importance of these places in terms of touristic destination. And remember that these sites are not developed properly because we don't have really much publicity outside around the world, stressing in sites that are not maybe Cusco, as I said before, or Titicaca Lake, or some specific zones in Peru. So that's why we are trying to do that other part, which is promoting all the destinations, okay? So if you want to ask something to Marek, Berhan is saying, hi, Marek.
Hi, Berhan.
So if you have a question also for the archaeologists, for me, please comment as well. See, so we're going to turn again the camera. And I was also mentioning about Paredones as an important Inca and also, let's say, Nazca fusion. So, Marek, what would you like to say about Paredones briefly?
Paredones was an Incan administrative site on the little valley of the Nazca rivers. It was also a point control, a strategic point to control the move of the people from the ocean to the mountains, because from Nazca on straight line you go directly to Cusco.
So this site is, as I said before, not really properly developed in terms of publicity, but you are going to become our sort of like the ambassadors of the beauty of Peru among your friends. So we're going to go a little bit ahead in our video because there's another interesting site I would like to show you. And the name of this place is Kawachi. Kawachi consists in a series of constructions, including a massive pyramid made in mud bricks. So the classical technique of the coast of Peru is using mud because we don't have rain. So Sunny is asking, how can one tell how old the walls or buildings or wells are? Marek, as an archaeologist, what do you think? How is the way archaeologists date the sites?
No, we don't date the sites regarding or based on the architecture or on the stones. We can date the site because we find items on the site that are organic. For example, textiles. You can date textiles, and in that way you can suppose that also the construction is contemporary to those textiles or to those tombs that you can find in the place. No? You cannot date the stone or the clay.
Exactly, no. So because it's not organic, no. So the idea of dating, for example, with carbon 14, well, it's based in, of course, using organic materials, which we have many, such as, for example, fabrics, also mummies, sometimes even humans. Rest of foods, exactly. Even trash, like garbage, used in that ancient time, right? So thanks, Susan, for your question. This site, by the way, as you can see, is in perfectly good conditions, and this is thanks to international collaboration. In this case, an Italian university is the one that helped us to maintain this particular site, which was a very important religious and administrative zone of Nazca. But Kawachi and Cantayog, Aqueducts, and Paredones are not the only attractions you can see here that are also related with archaeology. There is another very famous activity you can do in Nazca, which I'm going to show you now which one is, and I'm sure you're going to immediately recognize it when we start showing the images. So what is this activity, my friends? What do you think we are doing in this moment? This is, of course, a little pause, publicity pause of the video. So we are now seeing the fly over famous lines, right? They are the Nazca Lines. So the Nazca Lines, which are the main touristic destination within the province of Nazca, are a activity that takes you a couple of hours only. Only the flight will be about 40 minutes, more or less. But you need to be early at the airport of Nazca. You have to buy your ticket to fly over the lines, which will be between $80 to $100, depending on the season, depending on the company, and depending on the size of the plane. Right? So usually, how many people go in the planes, Marek?
There are planes for 8 people. There is a pilot, co-pilot, and 6 passengers. This is the average. But sometimes you can find biggers that are for 14 people. Pilot, co-pilot, and 12 passengers.
Exactly. No, so not everybody, of course, especially Peruvian travelers, are able to afford to pay 80 to 100 US dollars for flying the lines. So this is not the only way to see the lines by flying. Also, we have observatory locations, but they are quite distant to most of the most famous lines. So it is just one other alternative, let's say, if you are not able to take the plane and also you are short in budget, maybe on the way to Arequipa. So flying the lines is really amazing. It gives you a great perspective of the extent of the site, the Pampa, the desert where the lines are. And I would like to also make a little stop here because also you can see here the TV presenter that is standing in front of a desert sort of like plateau, right? And lines projected behind him, right? So many people ask how the lines were made. So we're going to answer that in a little while. I want to show you also another video, just making a little interruption to this one, about the observatory, the viewpoint, the tower of observation of the lines. And also, I have a question from Tina. Thanks, Tina, for your question. So let me check also your question, but I'll first put, I think this is the one. Yes, this is the one. So I will put a play on this one while I answer also the question. Have you guys done it? Yes, Tina, I've done it 2 times with tour groups, and Mare has done it many more because he takes his groups up there. He has to explain also and check that his group is doing good when they are taking the plane. But also sometimes when people prefer not to fly because they have motion sickness, they can do this, which is going up to the top of a towel to have a view of the desert. This is the old towel, which is about a little bit over 10 meters high. And this one is the new tower, which was inaugurated in 2020 and is 20 meters high. So this one here, the new one, was a gift, was a present organized by the Peruvian Japanese community in Peru and also a Japanese company. So they gave this as a present for Nazca and also in a way to give back, they said, all the opportunities they have been able to receive in this nation, right? So this little video also that you are seeing the title in the upper part in Spanish, but also I think you can change it with subtitles in English, is about, well, this very important construction that is helping a lot the community of Nazca. Oh, Susan, you were here in 2005. I am so happy that you were able to come over before. And that flight is really unbelievable. It's really amazing. So I will now expand again the main video we were using, and I will go to a section that I think is really interesting, and Marek was going also to help us to understand how the lines were made, because this is the biggest question everybody asks. How the lines are made, Marek. And here also we have in the documentary a little bit of the nature of the soil. So what is the composition of the soil in that site?
Okay, I see this better here, because here you can see the line. The line is clear and the soil is dark. No, this is a desert, this is sand, but the sand is covered by a little surface composed by different minerals that were expelled and oxidated through the pass of the thousands of the year by volcanoes that exist and been active there millions of years ago. So the surface is covered with those little oxidated pebbles, which is enough to turn to the other side or put them aside with hands to show the sand the clear color is the sand, and the dark color are the minerals. So in that way, because it's no rain, here is better to see the difference in color. It will survive for centuries, or those lands will be there forever.
Exactly. So below this sort of like gravel element, this sort of like mid-sized rocks that are oxide by the passing of the time, by the contact with the air, and also the passing of millions of years. So this gravel on top, which is reddish, it hides below a more fine, sandy, whitish material that is similar to the sand in the beach. And to make the lines is not really difficult. As you can see in this part of the video, we're showing in a practical way how the lines are made.
Yeah, this is the same technology that the Nazca people dispose, using the same tools. Those tools were found in archaeological sites, so we know that they use those kinds of tools to make the lines.
Very interesting question, Bernhard. Yes, is there no wind either? They are what we call paracas. Paracas are sand, sort of like sandstorms. Thank you. They are sandstorms, but because the surface of the desert is covered with these heavy stones.
Look here, you can see this on the back part. It's a little storm, you see?
Yes, that's right, Mario.
That's right. It's wind. The wind is moving the sand, of course, but the wind cannot move the stones. They are heavier.
Exactly. So the heavy stones on top protect the sand below. So we just, by moving or scratching the soil a little bit, we are able to make a mark that would last forever. That's why also, since the creation of the Pan American Highway, and the Pan American Highway, by the way, passes across the desert, across this exact location where the lines are, we have had also permanent marks made on the desert because of the passing of the wheels of the buses. And here you can see this gentleman dancing over the lines, because this is also one of the things we assume the people of Nazca used to do in the lines of the desert, dancing on top of them. They use these places as a magical site. And a long time ago, a German lady called Maria Reich, she came from Germany to Peru. In the 1940s, she decided to stay in this country forever after she fell in love of the lines of Nazca. So she was not Peruvian, she was not born in Peru, but in her heart, when she died as Peruvian, and she died as Nazqueña because she embraced the lines, protected the lines with her heart and soul, and also she moved to the location of the lines. So there is a museum dedicated to Maria Reich. So if you want to see this museum, this is, by the way, the place where she used to live. And she's buried there. She's not buried in Germany. She's buried here in Peru.
Something very interesting about her is that she was the people who made these lines famous on the world. When the lines were discovered and the researchers get to the Ministry of Culture of Tourism in Peru in those times, I mean in the 30s, so nobody takes care of that because there was a lot of illegal mining in that part of Peru, and the illegal miners don't want to have any presence of the state in that part. So in those years, Maria Reich lived there and started to write a very interesting articles regarding the lines in German, in English, and sent to different magazines of the world. So the people of the world get interested in that place, and they start to ask the Peruvian government, where is Nazca? Where is Nazca? So thanks to that international pressure, the government of Peru starts to take care of the place. And this is thanks to Maria Reich.
Maria Reich, exactly. She is known as the Lady of the Lines of Nazca. Also, nowadays, the Nazca Lines are a World Heritage Site. Also, they are now protected, but damage has been done already, so it is our duty to take care of the lines properly now and to stop more damage on the lines. And there is another destination that is really, really interesting. It is Cerro Blanco. So Cerro means hill in Spanish, and Blanco is white. So this is the highest sand dune in South America, in the Americas. So this sand dune, which is also visited, very famous among people who practice sandboarding, who practice, these extreme sports, is considered still nowadays a apu, or a protector, a special hill with a certain protection power for the people of Nazca, for the community that lives near the hill. So that's why when we go to this hill to do the sports, for example, we have to pay respects to the entity that inhabitates in the hill, the apu as we call it, and we drink chicha, we chew coca leaves. This is what we call a payment to Mother Earth for us to be welcome in the hill. We think that if we don't do that, bad things could happen to us, because we have to ask permission to get into this place, right? So the highest dune in America. Mare, how high it is approximately, Cerro Blanco? It's over 2,000 meters, right?
2,070 meters. But it depends on the day, on the winds, 1 2 meter more, 1 2 meter less, but 2,070.
Exactly. So it is really amazing that we have something like this here in Peru. So we're going to put a little stop here, because I want to give you also a sort of like an extra to this to this series that I'm doing dedicated to Nazca. And now I want to show you another part of the documentary where you're going to see this marvelous place. So look at this beauty. So Nazca and many of the coastal destinations of Peru have these amazing formations. So Marek, please.
Yeah, Nazca, the city of Nazca and the white dune and the lines and those archaeological sites are inland. So there are about 60 kilometers from the coast. So when you can go to the coast from Nazca, 1 hour, 8 kilometers south or 50 miles, so you get to the coast, to this magical place.
Mm-hmm. So in the coast of Nazca, you can observe, for example, natural formations, erosions, which are really fantastic, because some of them recall animals. For example, there is the famous turtles, that is the first one you saw. We have monkeys, we have elephants, we have mammoths, for example. So this is a place that you can come to see in company of your family, of your children. But because of the distance from Nazca town, and also because of the harsh, let's say, route to that place, which is mainly sandy and very off-road, you need to have proper transportation. So if you want to go there to see this, for example, to see the beautiful mammoth or elephant, also known, look at this natural formation. You have to do it with proper vehicle, such as, for example, 4x4 car or buggy, right? This zone is accessible to people. We are able to get very close to this site, but they are very, very few people that come to places like this one because it's pretty unknown site. So, well, that's why when you come here, if you ever come here, you will not see usually any other person around. No? So please help us to share with the world the beauties of this land that, well, we call Nazca. By the way, Nazca comes from a Quechua name called, or pronounced Nanasca, which means place of sorrow or place of sadness, and probably because there were ceremonies in which some types of, let's say, rituals were performed, and in which people were crying. Oh, look at this! This is the monkey. Can you see that? Were you able to see that? So probably that's why the Incas called this place Nanasca, or later Nazca, right? So this is one of the natural things you can see, the natural rocky formations. But I want to share finally, to wrap up this event today, another very interesting, let's say, site, which is over here. I will move again forward. There's a couple of things I want to show you for ending this event today. Look at what we have there, amigos, amigas. We have not just an enormous number of sea animals, such as sea lions, for example. We have penguins. We have different species of birds, such as seagulls, for example, cormorants, different kinds of cormorants, like species that are endemic to Peru. This is the Guanay cormorant, by the way. Maybe you're more used to, or like let's say you've seen before, the neotropic cormorant, which is all black. We have the Guanay cormorant, or for example, those Inca terns, or Peruvian bobbies. So animals that are endemic from this location. And besides that, you can also see the guano there. So, and you can smell the guano. What's the guano? Is the poop of the seabirds, which was the source of the Peruvian economy for about 50 years, right, in Peru. So, and I would like to also have the chance of showing you at the end the grand finale of what you can do. This is pretty much unknown thing people don't know they can do in this location. So let me now go straight to that part. So over here. So what you can do in this magical place besides getting in touch with nature, seeing seabirds, seeing different species of animals, unique, amazing landscapes, archaeological sites. You can also, depending on the season you are coming, you are able to see condors. You are able to see condors, especially in which seasons, Marek, are the common?
In our summer, January, February, March, what is the reproduction season, or the season of that born the little sea lions, because they came to the ocean to eat the placenta.
Exactly. Placenta, animal placenta, is very rich in lots of nutrients. So the condors come in that season, in that part of the year, to nourish from this placenta of these animals, and they come down from the Andes to the coast. So that is the time in the year when we can see condors in the coast and their majestic fly, which is really beautiful. Berhan, thanks so much for your contribution, my friend. Muchas gracias. We are coming to the last part, to the end of this event. Also, I want to share with you the name of this second documentary that I share with you all, amigos. If you want to see it in its full, remember that these documentaries are in Spanish, but you can practice your Spanish. You can also enjoy the different, let's say, views of Nazca. This is a Peruvian production made for channel number 7, TP Peru. Gracias, Ivan. Thanks a lot for coming. Oh, Suzanne, thanks for your contribution. Gracias, amigos, for your tip support. As you know, these are free to join tours. They are free to watch, and just support it with your donations, with your tips. You can also, if you wish to support permanently your Lima city guide, you can sponsor our channel with a very little donation per month. You can help me to create amazing content for you all. This is, by the way, my HEYGO channel. If you wish to join my upcoming tours, I am doing lots of different tours in Lima. My next tour, amigos, is over here. Let me show you. Tomorrow. Next tour is tomorrow. Let me go to the tours. I think I jumped directly to the post only. So I will be doing a couple of tours this week, additional tours. This one here of downtown Lima, this one is going to be fantastic, because if you haven't been in downtown Lima yet, you're going to get all the insights to understand the history of Lima, how the conquistadors came, how that affected us permanently, because we are, of course, the children of the fusion, for the good and for the bad, of course. And Tina, of course, I will be doing soon the part 2 of the street art tour. I am going to do it very soon. The street art tour of Miraflores was a big success, so thanks a lot also for those who were interested in street art. I'm doing lots of those tours about art and culture, but also if you wish me to do some other tours in particular, just let me know it, please. I would love to know your comments, to know your thoughts about all the things you would like me to do tours about. And finally, let me invite you to my YouTube channel, where I have also, I'll try to show you this, some videos and documentaries that probably you will be interested in seeing before coming in person to Peru. So thanks a lot for your tip support, amigos. It really helps me a lot. I am activating a button to also help you to find out how you can donate. You can also sponsor this channel. As you know, I am sharing with you also my information in HEYGO, also our social medias here in Lima. If you come to Lima, you would like to have a local tour guide, just let me know, please. Thanks a lot for coming again to the city and for your interest in Peru. If you have a question, I think this is a good time to answer your questions. If there's any commentary, also you can help me commenting about this tour, or letting know your friends about what we are doing here in Peru in terms of, well, these virtual tours. Soon I'm going to be cooking for you again, so if you want me to cook, I will be doing it also with the help of my... Yes, actually it's him, because I don't cook much, but I am an enthusiast of the food. So let us know what you would like us to cook for you. Thanks so much, Marina, for your support. Amiga, Larry, Suzanne, Bernhard, thank you. It is really wonderful to have you and supporting our channel and our initiative. So, well, hope to see you soon, amigos. And until next time, best to you all from Lima, Peru. And we'll see you maybe in a couple of days in downtown Lima.
Tomorrow, Mama.
It is not tomorrow.
It is
after tomorrow. So I hope to see you there. Take care. Best to you. Ciao, Bernhard. Bye-bye, amigos. Ciao, ciao.